Imagine the acrid tang of gunpowder and spilled ichor hanging heavy in narrow storm-lashed streets where the line between predator and prey blurs into a frenzy of flashing steel and disparate roars.
Picking up right, where episode was throat-clenching cliffhanger, left Dushakai Chinos pinned like a butterfly under Mikadu Momotora's unyielding blade, the Momotara gatekeeper's radio hissing with the promise of an Onai extermination squad episode called Personal Rule erupts like a personal vendetta.
I etched in blood the air, thrums with the weight of unspoken creeds. What does it mean to rule your own fate, when every swing of the sword screams of inherited curses? Our half-one-eye Huthed, Shekai veins bulging with barely contained eclipse fury, isn't just fighting for survival anymore. He's clawing for a code that defies the gods and the monsters. They birth the plot barrels forward, like a derailed bullet trained through the neuron arcs, escalating sage.
As reinforcements swarm the shattered gates of the Momotaro outpost, Shekai squatted a mutino that silver-tongued devil with a grin sharper than his hidden daggers. Jin Kuga, the hot-blooded rookie whose loyalty burns hotter than his temper and Homer by vigor, stoic tank of the grouplet.
Fists, like falling invuls, executes a frantic breakout, but Maikidu he's no faceless enforcer.
This episode peels back his imperial facade, revealing a man bound by his own personal rule, the self-imposed vow to sever the sickle of slaughter, even if it means staining his hands with the blood of his own kind.
In a pulse-racing sequence that had me white-knuckling my croissant Micah spare shutting not out of mercy, but calculation musperia crepticolians offer that dangles like a poisoned peach join me or become the demon they fear. It's a gut twist that reframes the entire war hinting at moment.
Our defectors and one-eye sympathizers lurking in the shadows of the agency's iron-grip big moments cascade like dominoes in a typhoon. The episode's crown jewel is a visceral tag-team brawl in the outpost's rain-swept courtyard, Shekai surging with a partial blood eclipse that turns his arms into serrated says of crimson plasma, teams up with a reluctant Mikadu against a way for the light, Momotaro of shock troops.
Blades clash in sparks that illuminate Maitadu's fluid Hiejutsu draws each one a hike of precision and pain, while Shekai's raw berserker charges shatter armor like rice paper. Din steals a sidebar spotlight, unleashing his latent one-eye heritage in a feral burst that downs a hulking berserker guard, his eyes glowing with the same haunted fire that torments Shek. Nay, to ever the wild card turns the tide with a gadget-rigged smoke bomb laced with hallucin and genetic one-eye pheromones, leaving enemies clawing at phantom yukai in hilarious hallucinatory. Panic, one trooper swats at invisible tentacles bellowing, not the tentacles again.
Omer anchors the chaos, her earth-shaking grapples, buying precious seconds for the crew's escape. The vibe, it's intoxicating, a cocktail of breakneck action, philosophical barbs, and fleeting tenderness that makes the folklore fuel feel etchingly human.
Think Demon Slayer, dialed up with Vinland Sage's moral grit. Every parry echoes with the weight of personal loss. Every victory tasses like ash.
The episode crests on a razor edge, reveal Mikadu's rule stems from a buried tragedy tied to Shekai's own lineage before slamming shut with the squad fleeing into the neon-drenched night pursued by agency, hounds baying for cursed blood.
You were left heart, hammering mind, reeling, wondering if rules are made to be broken or if breaking them makes you the monster.
If episode was Studio Hiberai flexing their Sekuga muscles, episode 4 is them fine-tuning the matching, polishing the raw edges of Hirashibara's manga into a visual sonnet that's as poetic as it is punishing. The art still channels the mangaka's Inkai intensity with a nocturnal palette of bruise, purples and electric indigos, turning Nerima's besieged outpost into a labyrinth of looming gantries and flickering emergency lights that pulse like a dying heart. Rain-slicked surfaces catch the glow of blood, eclipses creating refractive halos around combatants that make every droplet feel like a suspended tear. Character expressions exquisite. Maitadu's micro shifts from steely resolve to a flicker of buried sorrow convey volumes without a word. His obsidian hair whipping like a banner in the gel.
Shikai's feral snarls evolve into something more nuanced. Here, his half-human vulnerability cracking through the rage in sweet-baited brows and trembling fists Animation highs hit operatic peaks in the courtyard medley seamless. Blends of the fluidity and subtle sky for blood effects. Those arsine sprays from Shikai says mesmerizing like liquid rubies defying gravity.
Natus pheromone prank sequences a riotous stand-out swirling mists morph into illusory tentacles with playful, almost studio kill-by whimsy amid the carnage, a brief visual breather that underscores the humor without undercutting the stakes. Backgrounds breathe a life into the lore with subtle engravings of ancient one-eye seals on the outpost walls that reward eagle-eyed fans.
Hittle reality check, though the episode's ambition occasionally trips over its pacing some extended reach and shots during the audience, which feel like they are stalling for breath with character models, holding poses a beat too long echoing the stiffness I nudged last time, but amplified by the din.
Sir dialogue, the colored rating, while atmosphere skews, so dark and indoors, skirmishes that finer details like the intricate hilt engravings on Maitadu's Kikna get lost in the murk. A tweak toward warmer highlights could sharpen those gems without sacrificing the Nor edge.
So it's a step up from prior episodes, with Hiberai's team capturing Urashiburu's dynamic paneling in ways that make the adaptation feel less like a translation and more like a resurrection, gorgeous, gripping, and just gritty, and not to leave metaphorical bruises. Tougen Anki episode 4 doesn't just keep the momentum it weaponizes it, frigging a blade that slices straight to the series' throbbing core. I'm utterly hooked on this pivot from blunt force brawls to the intoxicating gray of what if the enemy wears your face. Maikadu's personal rule isn't some throwaway quirk, it's a lightning rod for the manga's big swings at destiny, prejudice, and the lies we tell ourselves to sleep at night.
The Doyenstes.
It's the narrative equivalent of a Mick drop, complicating loyalties in ways that make Shikai's arc feel profoundly personal, as Savinging orphan Trupmore man wrestling his inner demons. Literally, the humor lands like a well-timed theme tune at whose chest had me snorting mid-sip of espresso. A reminder that even in Apocalypse O'Clock, what is the ultimate superpower, what obsesses me most, the ensemble's deepening synergy. Jin's breakup moment hints at untapped potential level have fans, the arising for days while Homer's quiet ferocity steals scenes without stealing thunder. It's shonen with soul-blending visceral yukai flair with themes that echo real-world divides, all without preaching men or pacing hiccups aside. This core's hitting stride, proving Tougen Anki isn't just surviving the adaptation. Curseat's thriving. Here's hoping the Nerima Fallout unleashes more on Maikadu's ghosts, that lineage link spill a tea, show wraps up, squad backstories, and keeps subverting those rules with twists that bleed unpredictability.
If it sustains this alchemy of action and introspection, we're staring down how fame arc pour another round at the cave episode who's got me evangelizing harder than a street preacher with one-eye horns. Your move is Maikadu, Ole or accelerant spill your hot takes, this ride's just ripping up.